this video I'm going to give you an introduction to Arduino. So what is an Arduino? Okay, meet the Arduino Uno. It's a microcontroller board that was introduced to the world a few years ago. And if you are already familiar with microcontrollers like the 8251 or PIC or the ABR, you would know about it. So it's a really compatible and portable board with everything that you need on a single board. There are, well, first of all, Arduino does come in different forms. There's the Arduino Uno, the most common one. Okay, it's very reasonable in price and easily available everywhere. And there are other Arduino boards that you can look for. Okay, the basic features like the one that we have on Arduino Uno are common in all Arduino boards. So what do you have in this board? There are some digital I/O pins, and there are some analog pins, power pins. There's a reset button. Okay, there's some pins for interfacing with shields and bootloaders. Yes, there's a USB jack. There's a power jack. So if you're not an electronics person, then most of these things as seen in this board will not be interesting for you. However, the pins, the input output pins, and the lights, some of the lights, okay, some of the LEDs, and of course the power and USB, well, they will be useful. So let me share with you one real picture of an Arduino, okay, real video. This is the one that will be used in this lecture, and I will keep it in video when I come to coding. Okay, so we can see side by side what we code and the effect. Okay, so to get started, first of all you need to download the software, okay, the Arduino IDE. You can go to the Arduino website and just look for the software and download it. Okay, you can download to install it, or you can download a zip version if you're not an administrator on the computer that you're using. So we'll connect our board with a USB cable and install the driver. Okay. If it's the first time installation for the program, just install the drivers. Okay, even if you don't have an Arduino. Right. So after we start the program, you'll have to select your board, and there are some examples that are already that will come with the software. A lot of examples actually. So we'll take one of the examples and play around. Okay, and then we upload the program to our board and we see the results. Okay. With Arduino, it's an open source programming platform, and there's also an option for cloud computing. You can go online, code online, save your code online, and if you want, you can share. Okay, the Arduino IDE, this is an old picture. This is not the updated version, okay, but still I think we should, it's the same. Okay, the new versions, the old versions, the interface is more or less the same. Okay, at the top there's a menu bar, there's a button bar with some buttons, some commonly used buttons, so you don't have to go to the menu, and there's an area for your code. Okay, we call it sketch. In Arduino the code is sketch. At the bottom is the notification area. Okay, so if there's an error, or if there's any message from the software, it will appear here. This is a new version. This is the version that I downloaded today, and maybe it will change in time. Okay. So okay, once you start your Arduino IDE, what you need to do is uh, for the first time, if you are using if you have just one board that you are playing around with, it shouldn't be necessary to do this step. However, if you have more than one boards that you code from time to time, so it will be better to check whether you have selected the right board or not. Okay. You can go to Tools, and in the serial port you select the port where your Arduino is connected. You can by default, when you go to serial port, you will see a list of ports, and your Arduino board will appear over here in the right port. Okay, so you just select whether you're using Arduino Uno or Arduino Mega or Yun, okay, whatever board you have. And to select the right board, just above the serial port, you have the option for board. If you click on that, you'll see a list of all Arduino board for which you have installed the drivers. Okay, or even if you don't have the driver, just select the right board. We are using Arduino Uno. Okay, that's the most common board that is available. Okay, so what happens, we write our code, we write our sketch, we press the compile button. Okay, so the program checks for errors, and if there is no error, we press the upload button and the sketch is uploaded to our Arduino board. While the uploading is done, you will see two lights with TX and RX blinking. And for the first program, there is a LED at pin number 13. Okay, connected with pin number 13, which will also be blinking. Okay, for example, in this case, you see this LED. This is the LED that is connected to pin number 13. So the TX and RX lights, these are the serial port lights, okay, transmission and receiving. Okay. So what are our options? What can we do? Okay, we can connect our Arduino to get it programmed. We can give it some inputs to our Arduino, and the Arduino in turn can control some outputs, just like any microcontroller or any control device would do. Okay, let's talk about the Arduino pins. Okay, the digital input output. What we do is we use this command called pin mode, and the argument, the protocol is that we write the pin number and the mode. Mode will be either input or output. Pin will be the pin number. Digital read is command used to read if the input is so read, so it's an input. Okay, so it will read whether the voltage at that pin is high or low. Okay, it's like a sensing command. The digital write command is used for output mode, and we'll specify the pin number and the value, okay, which will be either high or low. For output pin, Arduino can provide up to 40 milliamperes of current. Okay. So when you connect your output devices like motor or LEDs or relays, just know that the Arduino pin does not provide a huge amount of current. Okay, so if you are using a motor which may need higher current, a strong motor, so you need to connect it through some interface, through some transistor or relay. And with resistors, with LEDs, we generally use pull-up resistors in normal in microcontrollers. However, in case of Arduino, there's built-in pull-up resistors, so there's no need for, well, most of the time there's no need to configure to put an extra pull-up resistor. So when we use digital write and high, there's to that pin there's an automatic 20 kilo ohms pull-up resistor. Okay, let's talk about the first program. This is the program from the examples in Arduino, and this program is what it's doing is it's blinking the light connected to pin number 13. So as I said, on the Arduino board, the pins at the labeled as 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 13, those are all digital I/O pins. On some of the pins you will see this tilde mark, symbol, tilde, or kind of an AC. Those are the pins which support the PWM, or it will be written PWM. So those pins can support PWM outputs. Okay, the others do not. The newer versions of Arduino, well, I've seen the newer versions support, all the pins support PWM. On the other end of the board, you will see there are some pins labeled A0, A1, A2. So those are analog pins. They are for analog input. And there are some power pins. Okay, let's do our first program. Okay, the program which I just showed you, the first program. What we are going to do, we are not going to use, or we can use this LED connect to pin number 13. Okay, but there's already a built-in LED on board that will blink with our program, or we can put an LED directly to the pin and see the effect. So we'll take that example and we'll modify the blinking rate and see the effect, and we'll modify the code to use for 2 pins. So okay, let's get into it. So this is the Arduino I'm going to use, and there is my coding window. And as I said, I have an Arduino connected to port COM8. Yeah, I can select from here. You will see, well, depending on the setup that you have. For example, I generally, most of the time I use 2 or 3 boards, so I see 2 or 3 options here. Okay. But here COM8 is selected automatic, and it also selected what is connected to port COM8, so it's easy for me to know which one is the right one. The board I'm using today is the Arduino Uno, and when I go to file, there are some examples. Okay, there are a lot of examples, so I can go to examples, I can go to basics, and I go to blink. Okay, so it will open this program blink, which is, I have already opened it and with slight modification. But let's do a new program. Okay, let's do a new program here. In your Arduino IDE, okay, there are 2 parts. When you open a new sketch, there are 2 parts. There's the setup part and there's the loop part. Okay. The setup part is the part which will run, this part of the code run only one time. Okay, this is like configuration. The loop part of the code is repeated for or repeat it forever, or as long as there's power. So in setup, what we do is, for example, I'm using my Arduino. Well, first of all, I define my pins. Okay, pin mode. Actually, this is pin mode. I'm using pin number 13 as output. Since I said, well, as I said, pin number 13 has a built-in LED connected. That's why I'm using it. We can also call it LED built-in. Okay, it's known to the Arduino IDE. So if you write LED built-in, it means pin number 13. So I'll just write 13 for simplicity. And the semicolon, well, don't forget about that. Okay, so that's it. That's all this. That's all the configuration I need. I am using pin number 13 as output. In my loop, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to blink. So I will write digital write pin number 13 and high. So this will make the light at pin number 13 high. Then I can put a delay. There's a built-in delay function which with this format, delay and bracket, and inside the bracket the argument is you write a number for milliseconds. It's an integer, so let's say 1000, that is light is on for 1000 milliseconds or 1 second, and to turn it off, digital write 13 low. Okay, so this will turn the light off for 1 second. So this is my first code. Okay, it's my first code for it's already there, by the way, but let's re-upload it. This is the compile and verify button, and this is the upload button. Okay, upload also do compiling before uploading, so I'll just directly click on upload. Okay, I need to save my sketch, so save your sketch, and see, these are the transmit and receive lights. They blinked, the code is uploaded, and it's blinking at 1 second on, 1 second off. Okay, so the frequency is half hertz. Okay, I have this LED that I want to connect to pin number 13. It's a bright white LED actually, so I've connected to pin 13 and 12, so I can see. Let's connect to pin this ground in 13. Let's connect it to pin number 12. So I connected this LED to pin number 12. Okay, for my next program I need it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is, as for my lecture, modify the blinking rate. Let's modify the blinking rate. Right now it's on for a second, off for a second. Let's make it on for half second and off for half second. So basically we change the frequency, it will blink faster. So if I upload this code, it's uploaded, and I can see it's blinking at a faster rate. Then we can change the duty cycle. We can change, let's say, on for half second and off for 1 second. So these are well, you can play around, and this code is built in examples. Okay, so you can get this code from basics and blink. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is modify the code for two LEDs. So I already connected this next LED, the white one, to pin number 12 and ground. So I will modify my code, pin mode 12 output. Okay, so let's toggle it. Okay, okay. 1 second. So I'm going to toggle means digital right 12 low. So when 13 is on, 12 will be off, and when 13 is off, 12 will be on. Okay, let's observe. Okay, what did I miss? Yes, the common usual suspect, semicolon. Okay, so my LED at pin number 12 is not working. The possible reason is, did I connect it wrong or what did I do? Let's see. This is ground and 12. It seems okay. I mean, my connection seems okay. What I did, I checked with back to pin number 13. The light is blinking. With 12, it's not blinking, and now I see the reason. Because if there's nothing wrong over here, it means there's something wrong in my code. What's happening here is I write high here, then it repeats and it becomes low, and it stays low for a second, it stays low for the next second, then it becomes high and low again. So it stays high for a tiny fraction of a second, which means the second common culprit, the second usual suspect, the sequence. I put my line after the delay, should be before delay. So let's retry, re-upload. Come on, light, come on. There. So now it's, well, actually, because of the brightness, I think it's not easy to see. Let me change it a bit. Okay. Okay, now it's easy. So now it's like a toggle. Okay, when the white is off, the orange is on. When the orange is off, the white is on. Similarly, I can put some more lights with more pins, and generally we'll be using a breadboard. Okay, if I'm using more than a light, it will not be wise to connect it directly to the pins. Rather, I should connect with through some breadboard. Okay, the serial communication. This is the communication when we do compiling and uploading. We see the TX and RX lights blink. Okay, these two LEDs will be near the USB connector and therefore receiving and transmitting data. So in our case, when we do uploading, well, the data is received here, and after the upload is done, the acknowledgement signal is sent back to the computer, so it's transmit. We can access the serial communication, the serial port, by pressing Control Shift M to get, or by clicking this icon to get to the serial monitor, and any data we can send from there, or we can receive any data over there from the Arduino. So some Common commands for serial communication. First of all, we have to start the serial port. We will use Serial.begin, which will come in the setup part, and we'll specify a baud rate. The Serial.Print or Serial.Println will print what we want to print there. The serial read will read the data that we want to send. Serial available will check if data is available. Okay, we need it in some conditional programming, and yeah, more or less these are the commands. There is an example program. Well, not just one actually. There are quite a few example programs. If you go to examples, communications, and serial event. Okay, serial pass through, serial call response. Okay. So there are a lot of examples present on the Arduino website, on the internet. So you can go through them and see how they work. I'll just do a simple serial program in the same code that I have right here. Okay, so we'll see about that. So what we are going to do now is I'm going to modify the program, the first program that I had, to see the status of LED on or off in the serial monitor. Okay, I'm going to use the Serial.Print command to display any message to serially connected device, which in this case is my laptop, my computer. Okay, so let's see. Where's the code? There. I'll go back to my original, or I can do it here. I mean, I don't need to go back to my original code. Okay, so in setup, what I'm going to do is I'm going to serial I think it's a capital S. Yes, Serial.begin at 9600 PS, and okay, over here let's display a message. So okay, serial. Okay, so I'll write serial and Serial.Print. And what, or Serial.Println. Yeah, so keep it line. So at this stage my 13, the orange light. Okay, so I can display a number or a variable that I define in my code, or a text that I want to display, like orange on. That's the orange light which is on. But I hope this is correct. We will see. Oragne, not Oragne. O-R-A-N, orange. Okay. And over here I will basically repeat the same command with orange off. So it will tell me when the light is on or when the light is off. Okay, the orange light, I mean, not the white one. Okay, let's remove the white one. Okay, so here's my serial monitor. Orange on, orange off. So when the light is on, I get orange on. When the light is off, I get orange off. Okay, so this is a simple example of how we, well, this is just the first lesson, so it's basic. Okay, with time I'm going to put more lessons with more features every time, and let's see about that. So that's it. That's the simple introduction to Arduino. Very basic. The first program, a little about serial port. Okay, we have only used for outputs, no inputs today. Okay, so I'll do another video about that, and we'll go along. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I hope this video was useful for you, and take care.